Okay, thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate it. Exciting stuff today. This morning, we kind of launched for all of our subscribers the new calendar view in the scheduling tab. So that's exciting stuff. I look forward to showing that off. What that is all about. And then also recently, I think a week or so, we launched as well the universal search. So obviously, before this, we had a search functionality, but now it's more robust. Real quick, if you don't mind, just click on the green microphone button on the GoToTraining control panel if you're in this training. Go ahead and click on that green microphone button so there's no feedback for anybody else. Cool. If you could just, hey Steve, if you could just click on the green microphone button on the GoToTraining control panel. Great, awesome. So cool. Yeah. So the two things I'll go over today is the universal search and the calendar view for the scheduling area. So cool. So I will share my screen now, and hopefully you guys see that. And again, save the questions for the end. If you want to chat in at any point, go ahead. Feel free to send me a question, and we'll have that going. But yeah, for the time being, just mute your microphone, and at the end, I'll open it up for Q&A. Cool. So as you can see, I'm on the homepage of Service Bridge. Let's first go over the universal search. So as before, like I said, we did have a search functionality. You can type in like a customer here. You can type in a work order. It would find it. But it's pretty robust now. And there's a functionality now that allows you to go to a separate page of the search. So let's just start off by typing in Wrigley. And as you notice right off the bat, we do categorize the search now. So as you can see, we will kind of separate it. So the first portion here is going to be a customer. The next person will be a contact person with this little phone icon. The next will be work orders relating to this customer. Down here's invoices and then payments. So as you can see, it really gets specific with what you're maybe trying to search for. And if you want to see it in a more broad view in a separate page, all you have to do is type in your result and then click the return button. And then I'll take you to a new page. And as you can see, 12 results for Wrigley. And we did our best to try and put the most pertinent results at the top of the list here. So as you can see, customers is at the top, then it goes contacts, work orders, invoices. And if there's more results that we're not showing, you could just click on this to view them. So yeah, as you can see, I'm probably looking for this customer here, Wrigley Field. The contact person showed up, invoices and payments. Let's get a little bit more specific. So let's type in actually a phone number. So let's type in the phone number of this particular customer. So let's click on that. And as you can see, it did pull up the customer Wrigley Field at the top here. So yeah, a lot of people have asked. We type in a lot of customers' phone numbers. That's the first thing that they give us. So hopefully this is helpful in being able to pull up that customer right away. We also do equipment items as well. So if I did an equipment item like a Samsung high-def television, as you can see here, an equipment item pulls up. So let's type in Samsung. And perfect. This is the manufacturer that we pulled, and then we can pull the customer directly from here. So really easy. You can click on the customer and create a work order for them if need be. But as you can see, this is a pretty robust search functionality. Even if I wanted to type in address, I can type in Addison, and it'll pull the street of which this customer is on. Cool. So hopefully that's pretty easy to grasp, pretty intuitive. We've made obviously pretty deep results for this, and hopefully you're seeing a lot more examples, and it makes it easier obviously for you guys to be able to pull up, especially a work order. If I type in work order 11, we're going to give you exactly that, and easier to find it, easier to move along. It goes straight to the work order details. So really easy to dig through your database. cool. I'll answer questions about this at the end. Let's move on to the calendar functionality here. So cool. Let's click on scheduling. And then as you can see here, there is dispatch. Now there is a calendar view. So both are available at the current time. Not sure on the availability of the dispatch board in the future. But for now, the calendar view is also supplementing the dispatch view. So you can use both. Perhaps one is more easier of a workflow than the other. But for the current moment, you have both at your disposal. And we're not saying we're going to get rid of the dispatch. You can never see it again. We're just giving you both right now, and we might go away with the dispatch, but we can obviously grant special access to it if it's something you really want. So again, that's something for the future. But cool, let's dig into the calendar view. So I'll click on that. And so we've tried to replicate this calendar view to be very similar to kind of like Google Calendar. So as I pull this up here, it's going to just really, right off the bat, just show me the day's view. And as you can see, nothing's pulled. That's because I don't have any teams selected. So you will have to select the team that you are looking at. So if I select all teams, it'll pull all the teams that I've created and their jobs for the day. And as you can see, it's pretty colorful. So each team is color-coded. And as you can see, it pulls each team, and then each kind of each column notates their jobs. And so we're showing you the day view. And so these are the teams: Alex, Daniel, Ian, myself, Michael, and Rem. And then below that's going to show the total jobs and then how many have been finished so far. So looks like Alex has completed one. He still has 4 more to go. And his total hours that he's done today is 2 hours. So that's that little notation up top here. As far as selecting a ability to edit it, all you have to do is scroll your cursor over the job, and then you can select this little pen button, which will allow you to edit the work order directly from here. And really easy to do. If it's a recurring job, obviously you can open the details from here. But yeah, so really easy directly from this view. You can see the pertinent information, the contact, the address of where this job will be at. And again, like before, the job will have the color around it is the status of it. So if you didn't know that now, didn't know that before, now just to reiterate, the blue around the job notates the status. That means it's assigned. If it's green, it means finished. Orange means in progress. So we still left the color coding as far as the status goes. If you want to deselect some teams, you can do that, and it kind of like makes the columns a little bit bigger. So you can manage that. And then also, too, you can kind of switch around your team members within the team. So for instance, if I edit Alex's team, I can add another user to it if I'd like for the day. So this is assigning the team members as of just today. And then on the bottom right here is kind of the jobs as a whole. So we finished one of 12. There's 12 total jobs going on today, and 10 hours is what we're looking at. Cool, so this is the day view. One other great feature within this view is the ability to add a work order or estimate directly from this view. So what that means is, let's say I'm looking at Kevin Skinner's team, and somebody calls in and would like a job today at 9 o'clock. We want to assign it to Kevin. All I have to do is double click this time within Kevin Skinner's team, and then it asks me if it's going to be a work order or an estimate. So let's select work order next. All I have to do is type in the customer. So let's make this Millennium Park. And then as you can see here, when we go down to the work order information, it's already been pre-assigned to Kevin. So it already kind of pre-fills that data. All you have to do is change the status over to assign so that he gets it. And then even the schedule information is preloaded. So the date, the time, the duration is always going to kind of be set at an hour. You can change that. And then all you have to do is put in the notes. So great. So that kind of takes away some steps. You don't have to fill in the time. You don't have to fill in the exact technician who will be doing it. Just really makes it easy to do that. So let's quickly do that actually, just to show you what it looks like. So let's put in a work order. And let's leave everything the same and let's just save it. Cool. So as you can see, that got put into my team, and it's been assigned to me, and so I'll get that notification that a job has been assigned to me. Cool. On the right side as well is a little easy calendar view. So instead of having to click over or find the date, really easy. If you need to see what's going on tomorrow, just click tomorrow's date. And so you can see that. Same thing goes with the months. So if you need to see a month ahead, next June 14th, you can select that. And if I'm not mistaken, going back to the original date you are on today, all you have to do is select this little circle here, and it'll pull you back to the current day. So just be aware of that. Cool. So this is the day view. Let's switch over to a week's view. Now, a little bit different here. And so as you can see, it's a little bit more colorful. It's got some more things filled in. And so this is helpful because then you can see kind of what the schedule is for your team for the day. Obviously, everything's color coded as well. So let's say if you don't have any team selected and you just want to look at Michael for the week, you can see what his particular schedule is for the week of Sunday, May 22nd. The thing is, be aware with this view, you can't add jobs to it. Only from the day view can you add a job within the calendar view. What you can do, though, let's just say, for instance, somebody calls in and wants a job scheduled on Wednesday, May 25th. What you would do instead of doing it from here is you would actually click on Wednesday, May 25th. Oops. Let's go back to that view. Tuesday, May 24th, let's click on that. And it'll take you to that view in which you can then add a job from here. So be aware of that. It just you can find your week or even month. Just click on the date, and it'll pull you to that date, which you can then add a job. So yeah, this is the week view ahead. Kind of same scenario. It's color coded, but it's color coded now by the team. If you do need to see more information of status, just kind of click on the particular job, and then we'll pull the name of the customer, again, the contact info, the address, what's being done, the work order that's tied to it, and then the status. So if you need to pull this job with Mike Stevens, just click it, go up to work order 88, and then we'll pull you directly back to that job. Cool. Yeah, and again, the same thing kind of goes, like I said before, if you need to change, the date, for instance, you can drag and drop and put it into another person's account. So various ways to switch over jobs. Again, I think the most easiest way is to click on this particular edit button, and then you can change the assign to from here, and then save it. Next, the month view. This is kind of looking at, obviously the month. This is a replica of Google Calendar. Really easy as well. Kind of same ordeal with this. If you want to click on a particular day, for instance, the 13th of May, it'll pull you to that day. So I think this is helpful as well. If you see here that, a customer calls in and they say, the 10th of June, we want to schedule a job, you can just click on it, pull the day, see what's going on, and then double click the time and the team you want to send it to. Yeah, so our whole purpose with this, obviously, we feel like this view, these views, I guess you can customize, is really more intuitive and easy for your team to dispatch technicians. It makes it easier to see who's available, and without the extra step of having to, click on create work order, find out who's available. You can go easily to this day view right away, see who's available, add it directly from here. And I think this is a really good view to work out of And so, yeah, you can kind of select your teams. At the moment, you are be able to see 8 teams at a time. I'm sorry, 8 teams at a time, not 18. 8 teams at a time. And if you need to kind of find a team, just easily search for it and you can select it. But the maxed column wise is currently set at 8. And then the last view to look at is the list view. This is a real simple kind of list format of all the jobs. And as you can see, it looks at a week. If I scroll to the next day, it'll show a week from that view. So as you can see, we have Friday the 10th. We scroll down, we'll switch over to Saturday. And again, really easy to edit from here as well. So you can see the work order, you can click on that, a summary, and then scroll over to this pen button and we'll let you edit it from here. Great. I hope that was helpful. I'll kind of leave it up for some questions right now. We hope that this view makes it easy for you guys to work out of. We did enable it this morning for everybody. So if for some reason you didn't get it or you don't see it in your computer, I think the first thing to troubleshoot is to log out and then log back in and see if for some reason that allows you to see it. If for some reason that still doesn't work, just send us an email, sales@servicebridge.com. We'll make sure that this calendar view is enabled for everybody.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of questions regarding calendar in that when you click away from the calendar screen and then return to it, you have to pick either all teams or whatever teams you want. Is there any way, or is it on the development map maybe to, like the view we see now, when you click away and come back to it, that those teams are already selected again?
Yeah, gotcha. So basically, let's say I'm looking at estimates and then I want to go back to that calendar view. It just automatically doesn't populate it. Yeah, it's a great question. I'll inquire about that to make sure that the last sort of view you had open was found, or at least all the teams is pre-selected.
Super, thank you.
Yeah, of course. And of course, we're certainly, I'll look into that question. I find, speaking to a lot of companies, having this calendar view just open in another tab on the browser is very helpful. That way you can, just work on a different platform, different tab, whether it be like your invoices, you do it a payments, and then just always reference this calendar tab to work out of. But if you work just through one tab, yeah, I understand being able to not have to re-click all teams would be helpful.
Well, especially if you're like using an iPad in the field and accessing the web app from there, it could be useful.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, didn't think about that. Just a couple of questions real quick I got via chat here. Lee asked if we can show again how to add adding team members to the day again. Yeah, so go down to the teams, and this is cool too. I forgot to show this. If you scroll over each team, you can kind of see their total jobs, how many they've had assigned, the hours relating to that, how many were finished in the hours too. But go over to each team, click then the little pen icon next to the team, and then you can assign the team members for that particular team. So I think this is helpful. I see a lot of use cases where somebody has a lot of jobs today. One team has a bunch of jobs. One team doesn't have really any jobs. So maybe you want to move over that team who doesn't have a lot of jobs over to the team that has a lot of jobs so they can help out. That was a lot of words at once. But basically just trying to help out other team members and so that they get the notifications on their device. Yeah, question was scheduled down to the minute or just 30 minutes or an hour. Yeah, I mean, once you get into this view and you double click it and you select a work order and you select, let's just say, a customer, it's going to preload just an hour. It's up to you then to then select your actual duration. So if it's only 30 minutes, you would have to select 30 minutes and change it. but the preloading duration is going to be set at an hour, and if it's not that, you have to change it manually. Question is, can you print the daily calendar? I haven't done it before, but if you right click it, and I just had it, if you right click and print, maybe that comes up to what you're looking for. You can try it. As far as actually having a button on this page to do it that we've built out, not something we have. But if you want to try just right clicking and printing it, perhaps that'll kind of show it and be sufficient for what you're looking for. Cool. Keep going with questions here. Can you change the dates of jobs within the week view by dragging and dropping? So I think the question is, if you're in the week view, can you drag and drop, I think, like this over to this? So just by doing that, it looks like it's possible. I wanted to do it first before I said it so that I'd look smart. So since it looks like Google Calendar is at sync with Google Calendar, good question. Not at the moment. I haven't heard anything about that being possible. I think we just really liked the look of the Google Calendar. Obviously, people relate to it because they use it so often. So we tried to make it replicate something similar. So it just makes it easy for anybody who jumps on board their team. Like, oh, I know what this looks like. This looks like Google Calendar. I know to use this. But as for syncing, not at the moment. When you add the team members, would automatically copy the estimate and work orders for your team member you are adding? Yes, it will. So I think the question is, will it add the team members to the job? Yes. If you add a person to a team, the work order and estimates will be reflective of that. Does the calendar automatically refresh with multiple tabs open? I don't believe so. I believe for any sort of, if you add a job, obviously it's gonna put it in there, and you don't have to refresh it. But if you work out of this tab, create a job, you'd have to refresh this page if that's what your question is. If you work out of like this tab and add a job, or you do something, if you go back to this view, you'd have to edit it. But if you do work within this view, it should be reflective and not have to refresh the page. Are you able to build a new customer from the calendar screen, or just had work orders? Yeah, good question too. Just work orders at the moment. That's a great possibility of something we can add down the line. We know a lot of people that work really just out of estimates. Like their whole business practice is based on a new customer coming up and wanting just someone to come out and estimate it. So they don't like the fact that they have to create the customer right away and then schedule something. So yeah, that's something I can certainly bring up. Being able to, instead of having to select work order estimate, you could say customer and then add it from there. Yeah, good question too. Can you select the data that is shown on the calendar? So instead of having like the address and name and the status, or not status, but what the description is, maybe you want to put custom fields in there or zip codes. That's not available at the moment. Again, probably same answer. That is something we could be editing down the line. Make it easy. Make it easy for you guys to see exactly what you're looking for. Perhaps you want to be able to only see phone number, right? Because you make a lot of confirmation calls. So yeah, I will mention that, and that could be possible. Yeah, Colleen, about the branches, that's going to come. That is for sure going to come. Um, or whoever wrote that question about branches, that's an update that will be happening, um, because it's already on the dispatch board and possible in the dispatch board. We'll get it going for the calendar view as well. Just sit tight about that. We'll get that updated. It looks like a couple people asked that question. Can you set parameters of the search engine so the universal search instead of showing like a ton of files? Not at the moment. I think you're going to have to set your parameters in the actual search. So if you want to get specific, you can test it out, see how specific it can get. I think we've tested with a lot of different scenarios where we tested phone numbers in a particular, descriptions and such, and it came up. So if you're searching for something and it comes up with a ton of results, I suggest maybe trying to get more specific with the search and see kind of what gets pulled for more specific results. Yeah, the day view is the only place to see the address and summary. Actually, let me take that back. And the week view, if you hover over, I think this will change. But right now, if you hover over a job, let's say this Mike Stevens, you have to click it, and then it'll pull all that information. I believe we are going to update it where it's just a hover over instead of an actual click. So this week view, yeah, it does look like a lot of blocks, but again, this is because I have 8 teams. I think it's helpful if you just have, you're looking at like Daniel's schedule for the week. You're looking at just my schedule for the week. This is kind of where it, yeah, I think really makes it easier to see. And again, from here, you just click on it, and then it'll pull that information again. Yeah, Brad, about your search thing, you can let us know what I think the universal search now. If I don't know if you're speaking about the new search that's been implemented or if the search before, but this new search should be able to find your customers pretty handily. If it's not for some reason, let us know. But you should be able to find that pretty easily. Yeah, the new search was activated pretty recently. I think this week, I want to say it was officially launched to everybody. By the way, I think some people got it last week, but then majority of people got it this week. Just FYI. Another question: is an API in the works to chance significant offers? Yes. I can't give you an exact time, Steve, or date, but it is in the works. And so I imagine when it is done, we will have a newsletter slash, no, probably not a webinar, but maybe we'd put it in the newsletter that it is completed. So check back, keep tabs on that newsletter, and we can let you know when it's finished. Yeah, question about having multiple tabs open, one for calendar, one for like accounting. Could you have 2 different calendar views open? So yeah, so I believe so. Let's just say, well, I think I know what you're asking, and I don't think it's possible. Well, let's see. So let's see. Right now, I'm in the day view, and if I want to open up a week view, well, again, you can have multiple calendars open, have the week view open here, and still have that day view open here. So yeah, it's possible. Just be aware though, Paul, that if you have multiple tabs open for calendars, it won't be reflective in the other one unless you refresh it. So yeah, be aware that if you do have multiple calendar views, make sure that you refresh it to see the change. Yeah, Brad, question about creating a task within a customer file without having to go to the universal task I'm sorry, Universal Create button. So if you go down to tasks, you'd be able to find the tasks here. You can't add them from here. You can only find their availability. So you'd have to, yeah, indeed go to the Universal Create button to add it. Okay, I got through most of those questions. If you have more, I'm still happy to answer them. I hope you guys like it. I hope that, yeah, about tasks. Yeah, I think the task view within the customer record is just for viewing, because from here, it's simply for, yeah, it's simply just to be able to edit these tasks. So you have to go to Universal Search button, select the customer, and then it'll be put in their file. I don't envision us changing that. It's kind of the way it just was built out. If you want to add an activity note, you can do that. But as far as tasks within the customer record, yeah, that's not something we have on the roadmap at the current moment. Again, if you want us to build something out, we're happy to have a discussion about it. Again, we have a development team we can talk to about. Let us know if that's something that's really urgent for you to have. Just send us an email, sales@servicebridge.com. Okay, cool. I hope this is helpful. Any more questions, let us know. This will be, again, posted on our support page, this webinar. So if you haven't checked out our support page, please do support.servicebridge.com, where we have, if you noticed on the last newsletter, we added a new team member, Ian. He is working diligently in adding tons of content to that support page. So lots of good stuff on there. All of these webinars are posted on there. Please send these questions like you asked. There is a section in support for feature requests. The more people that like that request and are excited about it and want it as well, I would imagine the faster it could be built out. So yeah, check out our support page, and please comment and write, and let us know if you have any more questions. So cool. Thanks for joining, guys. We have new features coming up in the next month or two. So keep at it, and let us know if you have any questions. And otherwise, I'll speak to you guys in 2 weeks. Have a great day.